Okay, so going into reading these various Marvel titles, I admittedly was more excited for X related titles as I was for Avenger related titles. I mean, sure, the Avengers, fine, but I mean, I didn't want to pick up and read a book that was like the movie. I didn't want to see Avengers assemble on every other page and, the cute jokes and corniness. So, uh, really wasn't looking forward to picking it up. But then I saw Jonathan Hickman was writing both Avengers and New Avengers, and that did spark a little bit more interest in that for me. Um, just because of my experience with Jonathan Hickman with like Manhattan Projects and now East of West and um, you know even a little bit with that uh, 2 issues of Secret that he did, so I had some familiarity and I really appreciated his writing. So I was like, okay, that did then trigger a little bit more interest in me. I still was expecting to open the Avengers book and see the movie. I was expecting to see the main people, which when you open the first page and you get that chart, in that first issue, you see like, oh, there's the symbol H for Hawkeye and Captain America, and the hammer for Thor, and you see the pulsar for Iron Man, and Cap, and you okay, all right, this is going to be your typical Avenger hero book. So, um, but obviously the intent of the book became apparent pretty fast that it wasn't going to be just these heroes, that we are going to incorporate other people like Wolverine and Spider-Man and Captain Marvel and Spider-Woman and a bunch of other people. I don't even know who they are, but I was excited to find out who they were. People like Shang-Chi and these two kind of metasexual guys named Sunspot and Cannibal, who are like prima donnas, and um, Smasher, who is some girl from Iowa who I think becomes like a guardian of the galaxy. I don't know, but um, you get to see a mix of different heroes come along. So that was cool. And initially they go to Mars, and I mean this thing goes out there and goes out there fast. So it took me a little off my game reading it. I wasn't prepared for a battle with some kind of devilish looking villain named Ex Nihilo, who is hanging out with his weird sister, and they have intentions of recreating Earth in their image, or they're recreators. He makes something from nothing, and she is the abyss. And it's like what now, this is real epic scale here, but right away they just capture all the Avengers, all your typical Avengers, and then they send Captain America back to Earth. And then through flashbacks, we see that they're prepared for this, that the Avengers will be prepared. So then you get Captain America bringing in a whole new team. He brings in new Avengers. Really. I mean, people that are there as satellite members to help out when needed. So then they're called upon to then go up, and their powers and things that they do are put to use to help get back the current Avengers. And then every book as it moves forward, we get a varying cast. So when you open the book up to the chart at the beginning, you get to see which Avengers we're going to be dealing with. You might have Thor and Iron Man highlighted, but then you might have Spider Woman and Captain Marvel and maybe like Smasher and Hyperion highlighted, and so you get to see who we're going to be dealing with in that book. So I thought it was kind of cool. At first, when I was thrown off with the book, the art was so beautiful, and I think it was Jose Opena. Let me just check that. Um, Really liked the art. I thought it was beautiful. I had not been familiar with this gentleman at all. But the sad thing was he was only on 3 issues. Um, I would have liked to see him for more. You got Kubert that came in after a while, which is fine. It was Jerome Opeña was the artist for the first 3 issues, and then Adam Kubert came in for a while, which was fine, but his style wasn't really into. I don't know. It just didn't fit the book the way the tone set with Opeña. Kubert looked like more of an artist for like Uncanny Avengers or something. But I mean, like his art got better the second issue as opposed to the first. It fit more on the tone. But then when Weaver jumps back in after that, like issue 6, 7, 8, I felt that the book regained that semblance of art that worked with the storytelling and things like that. It was more grand and epic, and it just fit the style of the book. So I appreciated that art style as opposed to the more cartoony traditional art style of Kubert. So the other thing about this title is it varies from what he's doing in New Avengers. The overall theme, and what Avengers is about is expansion. It even touches on the point of there was nothing, and then there was light, and then there was something. So it's a building of a world, the ascension of a world. Even though some of the components of that ascension are broken, there are people there that are here to fix it, and we are expanding the Avengers. We are growing into the future, and this is something going to be different. This is about birth in the process of heading to an end, or heading to a new kind of thing before the end ever. And about New Avengers, as we shift gears to that now, that is a book that clearly deals with very small group, very everything, and it's a secret society, if you will. Some of the members overlap, so we're not dealing with the amount of people. We're dealing with the classics. We're dealing with Doctor Strange, and we got Submariner, and we got Captain America, Iron Man. Should have been Charles Xavier, but Beast comes in. Black Panther. So we're dealing with them. We're dealing with them in control of the Infinity Gauntlet, and we are seeing this kind of conflict about what. Should this group even exist? But what we're also dealing with is we're going the other direction, where Avengers seem to start small and expand. New Avengers seems to have introduced the right in our face the multiverse, if you will, the big vastness of the universe and the galaxies, and it's something has happened that is now creating that to fold in. So you almost have like a Crisis on Infinite Earths type thing, and this Illuminati, this group, they're there to try and save the Earth at any cost. It's very horrifying to see that worlds are going to collide, and you see this giant other Earth coming right at you. They got like 8 hours to do it, to take care of it, and there's a lot of conflict amongst the team. I mean, there's more character-driven moments in this, but it's Jonathan Hickman, so in both titles, it's more plot-driven story. In my teen books, I like more driven stories. I like interactions. I like things like that. But you get it in small doses. You get more of it in New Avengers as you do with Avengers. Avengers, they're introducing all these characters, and they're jumping back in time, and they're showing you all these different characters, as well as trying to advance a plot. In New Avengers, you get to see more conflict between people. Reed Richards is in there, and then his belief, and Captain America's belief, and what you think Black Panther's beliefs are. But this story is all about things coming to an end, like the imminent destruction of not only the planet but the universe. And in the Avengers, we see there's an ascension of the world, and it's going to be this growth and a new race of man, possibly, and new members of the world's mightiest team. So, but Hickman in East to West is, of course, trying to end the world there. It seems like he's trying to end the world in New Avengers. There is a conflict in Avengers that possibly could destroy the world too. So he's very obsessed, it seems like, with trying to blow our planet up, which kind of worries me about Hickman. But it's fun. It can be a little cold. His writing can be a little cold. As far as with his characters, it's a little antiseptic maybe. But I'm okay with that. I tend to be more of a character guy, but I'm okay with it because he does such great world building. And it's not that he doesn't build characters. He does build characters, and then that still works to serve, what I'm looking for in a title. But both of these books are beautiful books. Steve Epting, I believe, is the artist on New Avengers. Let me just double check that. Steve Epting, again, like Jerome Opeña, not real familiar. If I've seen anything by them, it didn't stick out to me, or it wasn't in something that I was, real fond of. But the art style, it seems Marvel does a great job of matching the artists up with, the tone of the artist. And not just the penciler, but the inker and the colorist and everything for the right book. Aside for Kubert, I don't think he really fit into that as far as this Avengers story goes. But Weaver and Opeña on Avengers and what they're doing with that book and the big epicness of it, and then Epting and the other colorists and the inkers on New Avengers, it's darker. You're dealing with characters like Submariner, who's, a dark dude in this book anyway. I'm not real familiar with him outside, but he's a dark dude. Doctor Strange, obviously strange. Reed Richards seems ominous, and it's just, the tone of the book. It's an underground secret society, Illuminati. Not everybody feels real proud of maybe what they're doing under there, but it also is dealing with the end of the world. So it's heavy. It's got heavy issues, and it's a darker tone, and it's perfect for the book. I love looking at the book. Between the two, I have to say I'm probably enjoying New Avengers more, even though I'm only about 4 issues or 5 issues into New Avengers. I enjoy that book more for whatever reason. It's not because I'm into the. It just feels like there's more. Everything's a little bit more centered. Everything's a little bit more finely tuned and on point. And Avengers is, and which makes sense for the theme of the book. And Avengers is a little bit more scattered right now. There's a lot going on in Avengers, and I think they're doing a lot of introduction of people. The thing that kind of bums me out is I probably won't stay on Avengers, is because I think Hickman's leaving after a while, not too long from now. Like I said, I'm only about 8 issues into Avengers. But I see that Nick Spencer, I believe, is coming on, which he's a good writer. I like Nick Spencer, some of his stuff. But Linnell Yu, I'm not real big on. I see that possibly he's coming in to do art. It just doesn't seem like a book. The way it is now is fine. The art holds me. I like the expansion and seeing these new characters, but it's going to get to a point where I probably am not going to be that interested in sticking on an Avengers title. I wasn't interested at the start. I was pleasantly surprised, and now, it is what it is. I am more interested, though, in New Avengers, being that they have a team of people I am interested in. I am interested in Submariner, Doctor Strange, Reed Richards, and, Iron Man and Cap, and Black Panther. Seems like a very cool character. Like I said, if the artist stays on it, because I love the art. I love how they put the Black Panther in motion at the beginning when he was in battle. I love the way they draw Submariner and Doctor Strange. They just look, they look Illuminati. They look in the shadows. They look badass. So I like it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I see that one's more of a monthly release. I don't know what the price tag is on it. Even if it's $4 and it's a monthly release, it seems like Avengers is by twice a month. And I'm sure it's $4, and I'm not going to be real interested in paying that price. So, but anyway, those are my thoughts on Hickman's Avengers. I will give both books right now like 4.5 out of 5 stars if I was going to rate them. Possibly a 5 out of 5 for New Avengers. I think they're wonderful. Hickman, in a short time of me finding stuff that he's done, I like him. I like the cerebral